Welcome to Whips in the Dungeon 101.21 Alpha. Today we're going to dig a little bit deeper into horizontal style. Up to this point we've been working with 4 different techniques. The bow and arrow, over the shoulder, that's our 2 static styles. The 2 dynamic throwing styles we've been working with is horizontal style and the forward figure 8. Today we're going to do more with the horizontal style. But we learned that we can throw horizontal with a flogger. I just demonstrated that we can throw it with a galley whip. We can throw horizontal style with a hybrid cat o' nine. We can throw horizontal style with a long quirt, a dog quirt. And then when we move to single tails, the Whips in the Dungeon definition of a single tail is broad. It's any whip that ends in a single tail. So I could throw horizontal style with a dragon tail, but when we think of signal whip, we think of single tail. So when you pick your signal whip up, realize that the measured length of a signal whip is from the heel knot to the end of the cracker, and the cracker's plaited into the whip. So in our video on whip circle versus whip lane, we learned that a whip circle can go in an arc, and when we're throwing a signal whip, we can walk anywhere on that arc and keep the signal whip on our target, because essentially the signal whip is just creating a radius between the whip thrower and the whip catcher. When you're throwing your signal whip in a horizontal, I want you to focus on tempo, focus on keeping the whip as level in a level horizontal plane as you can, and rhythmic. Then slow the whip down, and as you slow the whip down, you're going to see it start to fall. The whip in a horizontal plane will actually have a stall speed, and every whip has a little bit different stall speed, so you have to discover your own whip and where that stall speed is. But once you've discovered it, then you're going to want to throw at least slightly above that stall speed so you maintain your horizontal plane. Relate horizontal throwing to throwing a frisbee. So at the end of the arc, pretend it's a frisbee and give it just a little bit of wrist pop. And that little wrist pop will help you achieve a crack. The shape the whip is making to crack in the horizontal plane is that U shape. When we discussed the crack, we discussed a U shape. Now, I don't throw this style a lot, but I've seen a lot of people throw this style. It seems like the tendency in throwing horizontal is people crack mainly on the backhand side and they recover on the forehand side. You can crack forehand and backhand with this style, but I don't typically see a lot of horizontal style throwers cracking forehand and backhand. We're going to dig deeper into horizontal style in other videos, but that's it for today. Today's key word is conditioner.